So today I want to break down the $5,000 Doge refund, which was just proposed by Elon Musk. In this video, I'll explain what the $5,000 Doge dividend refund is, where it's coming from, and why it's getting so much attention. But in a nutshell, it's an idea that every American taxpayer could get a $5,000 check as a special refund funded by savings from cutting government waste. Now, it's being called the DOGE Dividend because it's tied to something called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. This isn't actually handing out Dogecoin. The refund would be in dollars, but the hype actually started from a post on X saying that President Trump and Elon Musk should announce a Doge dividend, a tax refund check sent to every taxpayer funded exclusively with a portion of the total savings delivered by Doge. And just like that, it went viral. Everyone picked it up, from news outlets to crypto blogs to Fox. Millions of people are now debating whether a $5,000 payout funded by found money in Washington could really happen. Now, the Doge team has reportedly already identified tens of billions of dollars of savings by cutting fraud, canceling unnecessary projects, and trimming agency budgets. So people are really excited that those savings might directly benefit American families as a one-time refund. But not everyone thinks this is actually a good idea, since giving $5,000 to each American could also cause some major problems. Either way, I want to help explain exactly how this is going to work if it happens, how much it would cost, what the odds of this would be, and how this would affect the economy. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the Doge. So the first question is, what are the chances that this realistically could happen and everyone could get a $5,000 refund? So at this point in time, I think it's really important to remember that this is just a proposal. It's an idea, not an actual approved policy. But since Elon Musk and President Donald Trump have now become bros, it could actually happen. Now, as of right now, there's no official government announcement of any stimulus or Doge dividend checks going out, and the White House has said that Elon Musk, while an advisor, is not in charge of Doge, and nor has he ever been in charge of issuing any tax refunds. In other words, Elon can suggest policy changes, but he can't all by himself just decide to cut $5,000 checks to everyone. That would require presidential approval and probably an act of Congress to distribute this money. But the idea is actually coming to us at a really politically interesting time. President Trump and Elon Musk have teamed up on government efficiency, which Republicans and Democrats generally support because it targets wasteful spending. Handing some of that money back to taxpayers actually makes a lot of sense. In fact, you might have even seen people making videos about them being angry at the government for wasting our tax dollars. But there's also a lot of roadblocks. A lot of economists oppose any new stimulus-style payments because inflation is finally cooling down from the pandemic, and more government spending could bring that back. Anytime we talk about the government injecting cash into the economy, especially on the scale of tens or hundreds of billions of dollars, we have to consider inflation. After the 2020 and 2021 stimulus checks and other spending, the US experienced the highest inflation in 40 years. And studies have tried to show how much of that was due to the stimulus, but one MIT analysis attributed about 42% of that early 2022 inflation spike to the massive federal spending. It's no surprise that as soon as the $5,000 refund idea became so popular, people started asking, wouldn't this just bring back inflation? The answer is yes, it probably would. If every household suddenly got an extra $5,000 to spend, that's a huge boost in purchasing power across the country. So unless the economy can instantly produce more stuff or goods and services to meet that extra demand, prices would probably go up. But hold on a minute. This would actually not be funded from new government spending. It would be funded from old government wasted spending. So maybe it is possible and it won't cause as much inflation as people think. And if it's possible, we have to ask how much it's gonna cost to send each taxpayer $5,000. But here's what we know so far. As of now, Doge claims to have saved about $50 to $55 billion in just a month or so of work. And Elon and the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent have said that they expect to save a lot more as they continue, and Elon even mentioned a long-term goal of up to $2 trillion in cuts over time. That is a huge amount of money. But is that enough? Here's how the math of the DOGE dividend would actually work. The original plan suggests taking 20% of the total savings that DOGE finds and then redistributing it to taxpayers as checks, while using the rest of the 80% to help pay down the national debt. Now, if DOGE eventually saves its $2 trillion goal, then 20% of that would be $400 billion, and that would be available for refunds. If that is spread across roughly 78 to 79 million tax-paying households in the US, then you'd get about $5,000 per household. The math checks out on that, but that's household, and the plan calls for each American to get $5,000. Now, if we assume that America has 341 million citizens, which is the latest reporting from the Census Bureau, and we multiply that number by $5,000, that's about $1.7 trillion. That would almost be the entire savings goal of DOGE in the 4 years of Mr. Trump's presidency. But okay, maybe it's not every citizen. Maybe it's every tax-paying citizen. And that is closer to 155 million people, multiplied by 5,000, is still $775 billion, which is actually very possible, but most likely in a few years' time once they cut enough wasteful spending. Also, it goes without saying that this would be a one-time tax refund or stimulus check and not a recurring payment. And since it's framed as giving people their money back, it's pitched as a financially responsible dividend of government efficiency rather than extra government spending. But still, is that a good idea, or could it cause inflation? If the government were to try this right now, before the savings are fully realized, it would have to find other ways to get the money. And some possibilities that people talked about are reshuffling existing budgets, using unused funds, issuing new debt, or finding other revenue sources. And in that case, inflation would become a major problem. So all of these options come with trade-offs, which would most likely spike inflation and make the price of everything more expensive. And as we've learned with the pandemic, companies love to raise their prices and then blame supply chains or increased demand, but because prices are sticky, they don't come down once they are raised. So none of this is as straightforward as just cutting waste and redistributing the savings. For now, the odds of this actually happening are very small, but it's a really interesting idea. It's just that when it's broken down, hopefully people can understand the practical challenges. Having said that though, I would love to get the taxes that I paid to the government that it wasted to be paid back to me.
$10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions.
As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see you back here next week. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.